Welcome to the fourth module in our series about youth use of e-cigarettes, youth e-cigarette use and disparities. We are going to review some trends locally about who is using e-cigarettes and maybe a little bit about why. So it's important to know in Lancaster County that in 2019, our smoking rate was only 4.4% for combustible tobacco among our high schoolers. That is phenomenal, and it reflects nearly 18 years worth of effort in tobacco control. You can see that in 2001, our smoking rate was at the highest, and it was nearly 30% of our high schoolers were smoking. Now, unfortunately, these positive gains are being threatened by the rise of e-cigarette use among our youth. In 2015, the surveys that we give high schoolers started to ask about e-cigarette use because that's when Juul came onto the market and when these products became more popular among young people. At that time, our youth rate was about 24%. And since 2015, it has increased to about 27.5%. And as time goes on, it'll be curious to see where this trend goes and if it does continue trending upward or not. Some other factors that play into who is using e-cigarettes include things like gender. This is statewide data from 2017 that shows, this is from the CDC, that male students are more likely than their female counterparts to use e-cigarettes in high school, and that's about a 4% difference between male and female students. Another trend use that we see is by grade. Those in 9th grade use e-cigarettes at the lowest level, 12th graders use e-cigarettes at the highest rate. And that's not surprising because a lot of 12th graders turn 18, which is currently the legal purchase age of tobacco products and e-cigarettes in Nebraska, and that age will increase to 19 years as of January 1st, 2020. Another trend or disparity that we see follows the lines of race and ethnicity. In Nebraska, white students in high school are the most likely to use an e-cigarette. They're at about 9.8% versus the general population, which is 9.4%, so very close there. And the second group most likely to use an e-cigarette product is Hispanic and Latino youth, and those trends weren't very surprising as that mirrors the overall population of our state. The final disparity that we see in both e-cigarette use and tobacco use is among members of the LGBTQ community, and these trends that we see here in young people do continue throughout adulthood. And so again, the general use rate in Nebraska in 2017 of e-cigarettes by youth was 9.4%. And you can see rather alarmingly that for youth who identified as gay, lesbian, or bisexual, that youth rate jumped to almost 18%. And for those who identified solely as bisexual, that rate was over 18%. So if you know of an LGBTQ youth in your life, it's important to talk to them about how e-cigarette and big tobacco companies do target members of the LGBTQ community, and to just make them aware that for their long-term health and well-being, they should say no to these products and be aware of the marketing trying to entice them. Thank you very much for watching Module 4.